So we're going to just do a very basic flight simulation, but we're going to do it in two parts. We're going to build the starting of our flight sim, then we're going to add autopilot and a landing gear into our model. So this is a tutorial that we can give to you and you can build yourself to understand how to do the system simulation. So the first thing we're going to look at is actually that systems design. I've got no behavior in here or anything other than a couple of state machines. So it's just a simple tutorial, but we've got an aircraft, the aircraft space where it's flying, position visualizer, artificial horizon. And then our second scenario, we're going to add an autopilot and a landing gear. So with the scenarios, all we have to do is build our system simulation directly in the model. So these are our architecture, so our simple aircraft. So we've got our aircraft model and aircraft space model. And these are all widgets that we're going to use on our system simulation. And we're linking them directly to our structural part of our system. We also have the same in here. We're actually linking all the structure together. So it actually talks, and across these links is where we're going to send the data. If we go back to our model here, we've also got default values of the current speed starts at and what the values are, our X and Y and Z positions, for instance, and our all the different operations as well. So let's look at the first simulation. So we can jump into SySim. What you do is you build an executable for this to run in Visual Studio. I've already built that executable, so I'm not going to show you doing that because it's not exciting at all. But I run and we generate all the code for the system simulation. Some of the operation bodies you have to do yourself, and we'll look at that in a bit after this first simulation. So it's just bringing up the executable that has been created. And as you see, very, very simple flight simulation. So I can run our application, and I can actually make it go left and right, just like a simple flight simulation. Got up and down in here as well. And then I've got, this is our speed. So this is the first iteration of our system model. I'm very happy with the way it's being built at the moment. And I can also output any of this information directly to Excel. So any of the figures that are being used directly in the system simulation, so we can see our whole angle, our ILS, our position, what we're in, we can see all the data, what values it is and what it's linked to. So where it's come from and gone to. So we're going from like Y out, it's going to our input. So we can see all the data within Excel. Stop that. I'm happy with that, and it can start simulating as normal before. So we can make a list of our results in here. I'm going to stop that. I can close my simulation, and then I can close also Excel. So if I go back to my model, I'm going to extend my model to add a landing gear and automatic pilot. So I've got my automatic pilot here. I've got my landing gear here. Notice I've added a lot more connections, made it more detailed. So I'm doing that feature release style of working, so agile working. If I look at my other diagram, this hasn't changed compared to the previous diagram because I haven't had to make any update on this at all. As a model can have multiple simulations, SySim recognizes it. So you can have multiple simulations in a single model. One modeler instance can run one simulation, but you can have multiple people running different simulations at the same time. So I'm going to get this simulation up and running. And so we'll be able to see the slight change in our simulation. So we've got our autopilot, we've got a flashing light here that we'll see, but also we can integrate directly to our state machine. So we'll have a quick look at the state machine. So I have our autopilot, and we've got some code in here. This is what we call ASIL code, so Atigo Structured Action Language. Atigo was the company that PTC bought, which I worked for. So it probably should be PTC structured action language now. But we are going to run these state machines, and we also run some of the information from our body of our code. So we've got some VB code. In this case, it's doing a position visualizer. So some VB code is in here. We've got ASOL code, but that's what is running our simulation. So if we go to our simulation toolbar, I can run my state machine simulation, and I'm going to now run my SySim, and this will open up our state machines directly within Modeler. So we can see now our state machines are running directly within our modeling environment. That's actually flashing. We're waiting, and that this is running. So I'm going to move off, and I'm going to move that down. Go to turn the autopilot on. Notice this state machine has gone directly to the autopilot route, and now we're running our flashing our light on here to say our landing gear is being deployed. It's been deployed, shows that here, and we should now hopefully see with the automatic pilot the landing strip coming back into focus if it's all working properly. There we go. And then it also, we can actually get that Excel information out as well. So if I turn it off, that goes back to there. I can turn it back on again, and we can actually put the retract the landing gear if we move up as well. So that's how we can do system simulation. It's in its own process, so we can do larger simulations than this, but it's all linked directly into Modeler as well.